situation surrounding CM Punk's new partner for taking on the Vision is really heating up. So we'll see the latest there, and who could end up being that extra help for Punk. Starting things with arguably the hottest topic in pro wrestling right now, and that's the question of what is CM Punk going to do to counter what Beck and Seth are currently doing to him? Like we touched on right after Clash in Paris, it was a night that was full of hints towards AJ Lee's return, and just presented the ideal situation for her WWE comeback. Seth Rollins uses his wife to get the upper hand on CM Punk and catch him by surprise. The only logical thing will be for CM Punk to get his own wife, AJ, to make a surprise appearance, just like Becky did to surprise both Becky and Seth and catch them by surprise. Not only is it the perfect situation, but like we mentioned earlier in the week, you had all those lines from Seth that just really stood out and really seemed like AJ teasers. The way Seth specifically told CM Punk that he hates him and hates his entire family. AJ is very much considered Punk's immediate family, and we've never heard Seth Rollins speak like that before. Prior to that comment at Clash in Paris, Seth's jabs towards Punk was always personal and directed to him, but all of a sudden, Seth is indirectly taking shots at AJ Lee out of nowhere. That cannot be by coincidence. That has to be intentional and has to be by design as one of those early hints for fans to catch. So Sunday was full of teasers, and this continued to the very next night on Monday Night Raw. CM Punk came out to call out Seth Rollins, but to his surprise, Becky Lynch is the one that accepts the call out. Becky Lynch explained that she did what she did, of course, to help her husband, but she also revealed that she has her own personal hatred towards CM Punk. Becky said that in the early days of her WWE career, when she was trying to make a name for herself and display her work, that fans would always chant Punk's name during her matches and ignore her work, which she understood as a clear sign that they didn't care about what she was doing in the ring back then. They just wanted to chant for CM Punk. So Becky says that it's a personal issue that she has with him as well. As Becky continues to speak, there were several chants for AJ from the Paris crowd, and Becky did reply to them on multiple occasions. The first time around, Becky said that it was a classic for WWE fans to chant for a dope that doesn't work here. When the chant broke out a second time, Becky once again pointed out how AJ was not part of WWE. After Seth Rollins teased CM Punk from the top of the entrance stage to come get him, Becky got in Punk's way and eventually started slapping Punk around for several minutes. Becky was mocking Punk and teasing him since she knew that Punk could not put any hands on her at all. So she was slapping and shoving him all around the ring as much as she wanted. But it was Punk's closing line, which once again is another massive teaser. Punk told Becky that she's going to regret ever putting her hands on him. That one line alone implies that Becky is going to face some consequences for those slaps against Punk. And since Punk can't get any physical payback on Becky Lynch himself, that line by Punk sure does seem to imply that he knows someone that could put her hands on Becky Lynch. After that segment concluded, Punk was trying to find Seth Rollins backstage, but after Adam Pearce told Punk that Smackdown was in Chicago, a whole new light bulb appeared to go off in Punk's head. So they're not flat out advertising a Smackdown appearance for CM Punk this week, but that segment right there with Adam Pearce sure does seem to hint at the idea that Punk will be appearing in front of his hometown Chicago crowd on Friday. So what is Punk doing on SmackDown? Well, surely it's not to track down Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. They won't be there since they're Raw superstars. It looks like the SmackDown appearance is all about him potentially recruiting someone to join in his fight against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. By default, you have to put his own wife, AJ Lee, at the top of the recruitment list. CM Punk needs a woman that's going to be able to take care of Becky Lynch for him and clear the path for him to get to Seth Rollins. Punk cannot get rid of Becky by himself. It's a job for a woman. So in his own hometown, where the recruitment will probably begin, they're in Chicago for SmackDown, so AJ in his home is right there nearby. So Punk can appear on SmackDown and pay AJ a visit at home, all within the same day. Some fans are hoping for a return from AJ on that edition of SmackDown itself, or at least another big hint and teaser by CM Punk. If AJ's return is gonna happen, you gotta assume that it'll happen in the middle of an attack from Becky and Seth. AJ appearing on SmackDown in Chicago will be cool, but if Seth and Becky aren't there on the same show, it does take away some spark. Because not only do fans want to see AJ's return, they want to see her get her hands on Becky Lynch right away. So if Becky appears on SmackDown and follows CM Punk there, then maybe that's an interesting circumstance right there. But if AJ doesn't appear, another massive teaser will definitely keep fans on the edge of their seats. Another possibility that fans are discussing is, what if it's not AJ? Fans have hyped themselves up over AJ's return in years past, and it never happened. Just earlier this year, there were several AJ signs in the crowd at Royal Rumble. Fans really convinced themselves that she would appear there, and nothing happened. So although it seems like an obvious path for AJ's return, can't help but listen to that voice in the back of your head that's doubting that AJ will come back. And it makes you wonder if they could be going down another direction. What if CM Punk is going to Smackdown to specifically recruit someone from the Smackdown women's division to help him? We say that because the Smackdown women's division has some of Becky's biggest arch rivals on that brand. CM Punk could turn to Charlotte Flair with a proposal to help him and handle Becky Lynch for him. Punk could also turn to Nia Jax, who has a very decorated history with Becky Lynch as well. Maybe that's Punk's initial plan: speak to these women that have issues with Becky Lynch and see if they can help him out. What would also be a cool direction if we see Punk making his requests to these superstars like Charlotte and Nia Jax, but they all turned down his proposal because they got their hands too full at the moment. With everyone turning Punk away and him having no one else to cancel out Becky Lynch for him, maybe he could drop some big teasers right there of having one last resort option to turn to, and that would be asking his retired wife to step out of retirement to help him with Becky Lynch. Maybe something like that would be some cool story progression. Keep things a little cryptic, but once again heavily teases AJ's return. Depending on the pacing of the story, it does make you wonder if this is a matchup that we could see for WWE's big ESPN debut on September 20th. September 20th will be the first premium live event to air on ESPN's platform, and fans are a bit hesitant to switch over to ESPN's platform, but if WWE puts AJ Lee's first match in over 10 years on that card, that maybe sweetens the offer a bit and gets fans more interested to check it out. So as of this very moment, yeah, it sure does seem like it's setting up AJ's return, but nothing's absolutely confirmed. If AJ does turn out to be a part of the story, you gotta mark that down as one of the biggest returns in history. AJ Lee has not wrestled an official match in over 10 years. She has not appeared for WWE in any way in over 10 years. That's more time than CM Punk was away from WWE, more time than Brock Lesnar was away from WWE during his UFC run, and more time away than Edge was from the ring with his neck injury. AJ's span of absence from the ring has been longer than any of those massive WWE returns from over the years. So if it is AJ, this is a very massive return. That will be another viral moment, no doubt about it. And if AJ does return for this match, you don't want to be too greedy, but the question will then become, well, how much more can she do? Naomi has been begging to work with AJ again. Roxanne Perez says her number one dream match is against AJ Lee. And so many more stars want to work with AJ again. So is it a one and done just to please the fans? Or could we expect to see a little run from AJ? Maybe similar to the run we've been seeing now from Nikki Bella. That'll become the new burning question. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.